James, who's taking part in these talks today, and what are the chances of anything being agreed?
Well, for now, what has happened at this stage is that Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya has met with the political leaders of the country. Now, this took place in this building, which is right behind me, which is the People's Palace here in Conakry. Now, there were many, many people who were wanting to take part in this meeting. And indeed, well, it started with the national hymn. Then, indeed, Mamadi Doumbouya addressed the politicians of the country for about 4 to 5 minutes. Now, we spoke to some people. We're not allowed to be inside that room, but we spoke to some people who were, and they told us that he said that what he wanted was an inclusive process, that he wanted transparency, that he would not be meeting with any of the political leaders on the side, that he wanted everyone to be present. He also said that he did not want there to be a personification of power around himself. He did not want also that there to be populism. He said he wanted work to be done, and he wanted to be inclusive. Now, after having addressed them for 5 minutes, well, he sat down and listened to these political leaders. 15 of them spoke up. There are about 200 to 300 parties in Guinea-Conakry, and there were roughly around 100 people inside that room. 15 were chosen to speak, and well, they conveyed their opinion about how the transition was to be conducted. One notable intervention was that of the RPG representative. That is the party of ousted President Alpha Condé, who asked if indeed Alpha Condé was being treated correctly in what his state was, and was he to be released. There was no answer from the junta. At the end of the meeting, it was one of Mamadi Doumbouya's aides-de-camp that spoke to the politicians assembled, saying that they wanted them to come back with memorandums with what they believed was the step forward for Guinea. This was the first and probably the most important of these meetings today. There's another one that's very important, and that will be the meeting where the traditional leaders of all 4 regions of Guinea are invited. And indeed, well, some of them, including especially the one in Lower Guinea, had opposed quite strongly the rule of Alpha Condé. So then again, these are traditional leaders, and they're also extremely important here in the social network of Guinea.
And that's what's happening at the political level, James. But you've been in the country for several days now talking to civilians. Give us a sense about how they feel about the coup d'etat and the new military leadership in their country.
Well, for regular people, they're all watching what's going on here today at the People's Palace. People here are very anxious to know what kind of transition will be implemented. Will it be a military one? Will it be a civilian one? People here, a lot of them live in misery. It's important to note that nearly half the population in Guinea lives with less than $1 a day, whereas the country, of course, is very rich when it comes to minerals. So a lot of them say, right, we've been abandoned for the last 60 years. None of the ruling systems that we've known till now have helped us on a day-to-day basis. This is what people have been telling us, and they hope this time it will be different. So they are hopeful, but they're also weary when they see the military in power in the country. This is not the first coup, of course, in Guinea in its history since 1958 and the independence. There was only one free and fair election here in this country. So they're very much waiting, listening, wanting to see what will come out of these meetings, and wanting to see, of course, what the transition government will look like, because that, of course, is key as to how this is going to unfold in the months to come.
James